What's good, everyone? Podcast people, podcast universe. It's us. We back again. Ramehs Radio, Ep.2. My wonderful co-host, UndeadEnigma, aka Enigma. You know, we are back, ready for another one. What do you have to say to the people to start off the show?
It's a pleasure to be back, everybody. Thanks for having me again, and it's great to get to episode 2 of Ramehs Radio. I've been really excited for these recording sessions. Can't wait. We have a lot of interesting topics to talk about, and hopefully we're going to stick a little bit closer to the time that we had intended for these podcasts, which was an hour to an hour and a half, but maybe you'll get a 2-hour episode again if we feel really talkative. We'll see.
Yeah, man, we do not want to talk to you guys heads off. You know, we know people are busy. They got stuff to do. So let's just get right into the first topic. We got PlayStation and Vita. Well, Sony in general. They shut down the PlayStation 3 and Vita digital stores, and whole bunch of craziness ensued after that. People went out and they were pretty much reselling physical games for as high as I seen on eBay. They had a Ratchet and Clank going for like $90, and this is an old PS3 game that used to be able to pick up for like $5 on like Craigslist or something like that. You know, super easy to get, but now people are selling it for like $80-$90. Whole fiasco, whole craziness, you know. And then they later come out and they reverse the whole digital store shutdown. How do you feel about this, Enigma? What do you think about this?
So, I think this is a really interesting situation. It's really funny because this is what Sony's been doing at their core. If you've been paying attention behind the scenes, Sony's been making a lot of anti-consumer moves because they recently appointed a new CEO. Jim Ryan is now the head of Sony and makes all the decisions, and that guy has publicly stated that he doesn't give a damn about game preservation and playing old games. He literally said that he went to a conference and he saw PS3 games there and said, why the hell would anybody want to play this? So it was no surprise when they announced that they were planning a shutdown, and it wasn't shut down. What had happened was they were preparing for it to be shut down on the 22nd of July, I believe. But some things on the service were slowly being taken away, and you weren't able to renew certain licenses. And then, yeah, like you mentioned, they reverted that change for the PlayStation 3 and the Vita. So they're keeping the PlayStation 3 and Vita stores, and they're getting rid of the PSP store just for operational reasons. And I don't think as many people are still using their PlayStation portables, but the Vita and the PS3 were definitely surprising for them to try and pull this. It was also really funny to see Jim Ryan walk back a statement that he made and post this long statement about how they're committed to preserving games when they've been killing off studios left and right behind the scenes and closing Japan studios and stuff to focus on quote-unquote Western games, as Jim Ryan has said. I just don't like that guy. If you couldn't tell, I don't like that
guy. Hey, you know the funny thing, and I realized this ever since, man, even going back to the 360, the whole gaming sentiment regarding Microsoft and Sony has always been that Sony is for the gamers. Sony cares about the gamers. And what I think a lot of these people fail to realize is that Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, these companies are businesses. Bottom line, they want to make money. If something is not making the money, they don't really care. So the whole sentiment that Sony is all about the gamers is kind of being exposed now, and it's funny to see because, you know, if you've been online in like some of these gaming spheres, I guess, even on YouTube or like in forums and stuff, you'll hear these people are up in a tizzy. They're calling for Jim Ryan's head, you know, just like you. They're calling for his head. They want him knocked off. So I mean, it's really interesting just seeing it play out. And yeah, I mean, this speaks to Sony's whole view on game preservation itself. Like, it's not a good look.
And I think it's so weird because it shows that there's gonna be sort of a trend of this going forward if they're gonna try to do that like later down the PlayStation 4's life cycle, for example, and kill off the store there. It's so strange because publishers are pushing gamers towards trying to buy digital copies, and then you're killing off the storefront, so we can't update our games, we can't buy more games, and we can't use the games that we purchase licenses for. That doesn't make any sense. That's so strange.
It's true. I mean, I understand how they want to kind of streamline everything so they're not running like 4 or 5 different, like imagine managing the PS3, PS4, Vita and PS5 stores all at the same time and making sure they're all secure and all payments are good and all that good stuff at the same time. I mean, that would be a lot, but like if they had a better way to preserve games and make sure that newer generations could play older generation games, and I don't think this would have been that big of a problem. But it's just the way that gaming and even just media as a whole is going. Everything is going digital, and it's so hard to preserve things. You know, you still have people that have like their Blu-ray collections or their DVD collections. I even started a VHS collection not too long ago. A little side note.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I started a little VHS collection. I have like Alien, Back to the Future. I have some World Series highlights, which is actually a really crazy pickup. But yeah, you know, it's
word. You got the classics.
Yeah, man. Because I really do feel like preservation as a whole is just important. It's important for humanity. Humanity is always one big thing in humanity is always been preservation. So just to see that Sony does not care to preserve their history, what made them Sony, is very, very alarming.
Yeah, it feels like they don't value games as an art form. They value games as only as a source of monetization, which is like, yeah, which is like crazy to think about. And also, I think that even if I think this is a multifaceted problem. So I think that the first issue that's really big is that even if you want to kill off the storefront for operational costs, why the hell can I not update my games, access the licenses that I already paid for? In the case of the PlayStation 3, you can still play physical games, but in the PlayStation 4's case, with something that we're going to segue into next, and it's a little early to talk about this topic, but we kind of have to because it's related to this. You can't play physical or digital games, no matter what. And this relates to the next topic that we're going to talk about, like I mentioned, which is Sony's C-bomb issue, which relates to a CMOS battery that is in all of their consoles from the PlayStation 3 to the PlayStation 5, so their last 3 generation of consoles. And I'm going to give a quick rundown of what a CMOS battery is, because some people are probably sitting there listening to this wondering what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, go ahead, speak on
Essentially, a CMOS battery is used to sync certain things within the PlayStation, like the time, for example. So when you turn off your PlayStation, the time setting doesn't constantly reset. And these batteries die out inevitably, as all things do. And when that happens, your console won't be able to constantly check the time, and that will mess with unlock times for digitally purchased games. So the console will read it that you didn't purchase this game on time, and it won't unlock the game, and then you can't play the games digitally. And I have no idea why it doesn't work on physical games for the PlayStation 4. I don't know why it kills physical games.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about the technical aspects, which is crazy because I used to be a computer science major, but I'm not too sure as to why exactly the clock, not too sure why the architecture is set exactly up like that. But yeah, this does stem back to the initial problem of Sony not finding a proper way to preserve everything. Because if this whole C-bomb, CMOS battery situation wouldn't have been a big problem if there was just one centralized place to just go back and play PS1, PS2, PS3 games. And it's interesting because this has been, the C-bomb has really been like just this low-key thing that was never really known about. It's been around since the PS3, and it's even in the PS5, which is scary. So all those people like me who bought a digital PlayStation 5 are essentially out of luck, because when that CMOS battery dies, this is essentially just a big ass
it's a brick.
What's
paperweight.
What's that guy's name from Yu-Gi-Oh that got the big ass collars? Kaiba. It's just a big ass Kaiba statue. That's all it is at the end of the day.
It does kind of look like Kaiba's jacket.
Oh my gosh,
you're not wrong.
Yeah, so I mean, kind of scary.
And the problem is twofold, because since the PlayStation's CMOS battery in the PlayStation 5 and 4, I think as well, can only be synced to Sony's specific servers. It doesn't let you connect to a different server. If Sony shuts down the servers for PS4 and PS5 eventually, as we can see that they have plans to, as they're saying that they will, you won't be able to play your games even if the CMOS battery isn't dead, because you can't resync the time, because it only syncs to that server. So even if you because okay, CMOS batteries are also in your computer, but it's a lot easier to change. You can take apart your computer and change the CMOS battery. Even if you could change the CMOS battery in a PlayStation, if it's not connected to Sony servers, it still won't work with a brand new battery.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's like strict DRM in the stupidest sense.
You know what's funny though? Back in like what, 2013 or was it 2012 when Microsoft first showed off the Xbox One? Remember how everyone killed
online
they
DRM.
Killed Microsoft because they said, oh yeah, you know, everything's gonna be synced up to the cloud, it's gonna be DRM, you're gonna have to authorize your purchases to make sure that your games are always good, it's always gonna be authorizing, and people killed them. And Sony came out with that little video, that little that little snide
and
video.
You know that the PlayStation 4 had always online DRM too. You can tell. That's why you install games off the disc.
Yup. But you know,
they just Xbox messed up because they said it first.
Yup. I mean, if they had done it low key, I mean, I think it wouldn't have been a problem, because by that time everyone would have seen that both systems are doing it. But I mean, you know, at least Sony was just a little more transparent and said, yeah, this is the case. Not Sony, Microsoft was a little more transparent and said, yeah, this is the case. They got killed for it, you know.
Yeah, they got murdered for it. They got put on the stake.
Yeah.
They were crucified low key. It was not pretty.
But yeah, this is
it's both of these issues just stem back to Sony's lack of care for game preservation, and it's something that's so disappointing to see as people who love to play games in general. Like, some of these games I grew up with and I collect, like the Tales of games. I collect English translated Tales of games. I don't have all of them. I don't have some of the ones on PlayStation 2, for example, but as many of them as I can try to get my hands on for a reasonable price, I do pick up. So it's sad to see that, like, I have like 4 or 5 games that are like 200-hour RPGs that I want to go back and replay eventually, because I've already played them. I just want to replay them eventually, and my console might die before I choose to do that.
Bro, like, imagine I just went back and bought a PS2 before, like, literally right before Rona hit. I went and bought a PS2, and I mean, I haven't got to buy like too many games for it, but I just got like maybe 1 or 2. And like, imagine like some kid like me who the PS1 and 2 are like almost 30 years old now at this point, right? Almost 30 something like that. Imagine like some kid like me, like 10-15 years down the line, who wants to play like PS5 games. How are they gonna do that? I mean, if Sony doesn't get their, like, they have to either go through a game service that Sony will set up, which, you know, frankly might be garbage, because Sony has been,
will probably be garbage.
Sony has a proven track record of putting out streaming services that are bad. So, you know, I'm not gonna be surprised if it's horrible. They're gonna have to go through those means, or they're going to have to, you know, get it off the bandwidth. Which, I mean, hey, hot take, there's nothing wrong with getting stuff off the bandwidth, because you see how Sony is handling their old games and their old exclusives.
This ain't even a hot take. This is true.
There is nothing wrong with it. I don't know if the viewers know about this, but there is a fully working PS3 emulator if your computer is strong enough to run it. I've downloaded it. It's actually not too bad. There's even
allegedly.
Oh yeah, allegedly.
Listen, emulation is legal. Emulation and downloading ROMs for games that you already own is legal. And in that way, I only emulate games that I already purchased. However, if I can't purchase games anymore and Sony doesn't want to let me purchase the games, then I guess I gotta emulate them if that's the only way to play them. That's crazy.
Hey man, there is nothing wrong with it, honestly, because you see how they are pretty much fumbling the whole entire bag with this. And you know what's crazy?
That they have a built-up legacy of games.
Oh my gosh, they like Sony is known for, like, Sony has so many iconic games. SOCOM, Jack and Daxter, you have Sly Cooper. Like, there's so many iconic, literally iconic games that are Crash Bandicoot.
Literally the only studio that has more icons than them is like Nintendo.
Exactly. And that's
the only game company that's more iconic.
They are throwing their whole history away. And when Microsoft said, yeah, we're gonna come out with this game service, I sound like a Microsoft fanboy right now, but I'm really not. Like, I had an Xbox One and I have a PS5. I play everything, but you know, it's like Microsoft came out and said, we're gonna have this service. You're gonna be able to play games all the way back to the Xbox, the OG, the big fat booty Xbox. And everyone was clowning them like, oh, you guys are doing this because you don't have newer games, XYZ. But just goes to show you, look, now people is buying old ass PS3 games for $90 because Sony don't know how to manage their business. It's poor. It's poor.
And the best thing is, Microsoft turned that into a whole nother market. They added things like FPS boost and game boost, and now like games that were old, like Red Dead Redemption 1 runs at like 120 FPS 4K on the Xbox Series X, and it looks amazing.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go play that.
So like, yeah, Xbox really bumped up their stuff. They don't just like give you the game again and say, here, you can play this garbage. They really like tune it as much as they can, and they added like little frame rate boosters and performance boosters like on a back end level, so it's all like hard coded and it's not anything that you have to do on your end. So yeah, Microsoft's really killing it, although I'm not gonna lie, they have an initial check for the series and I think the ones like an initial online check when you boot up the console. And if they shut down the servers, it'll have the same issue basically as the C-bomb, where it just becomes a paperweight. But that's a little bit more manageable because I think they can just program out that initial online check. Who knows? They could just release an update and get rid of that.
Yeah. I mean, well, regardless, they have a centralized place where you can play your old Xbox games. And I mean, the 360, if I'm mistaken, doesn't have that C-bomb issue, does it?
No, I still have my old 360 and it still works. Yeah, and I can still play games on it.
So I mean, you know, Xbox and Xbox 360 games are safe. Xbox One games, Xbox Series X games, and Xbox whatever they decide to call the next box, the next box Xbox, whatever they decide to call it, those will be on Game Pass. So that's not even to worry about, really. But yeah, I mean, any closing thoughts on this whole Sony fiasco?
No, I think that at the end of the day, like we said earlier, it just shows that Sony doesn't really give a damn about game preservation, and they need to do a lot more and step up their game in that regard, especially if Microsoft is committing to, they've been buying up studios left, right, and center, right? So if Microsoft is going to start committing some actual resources to that and actually start putting out games, then we're going to have a completely different conversation on our hands, because if both companies are banging out AAA titles and stuff, then the only real conversation is whose console has the longevity and the performance, and Microsoft's already winning on both fronts, so Sony's gonna have to step it up. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, the only thing about Microsoft, I've been saying this since like 2019, if Microsoft can get a good 10, 11, 12 exclusives that are just Xbox and PC exclusives, Sony's gonna have a really, really hard time, because the Microsoft ecosystem is just better, hands down. It's just better. It is better. It's better, from playing old games to being able to stream your games or play them. You can even play Xbox Game Pass games on your phone. Like, it's crazy now. It's crazy. So Microsoft has a better ecosystem. If they can just get their games together, I mean, it's gonna be really tough for Sony to catch up. I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say on that. But
Yeah, me too.
segueing into another topic, another game I really love, Resident Evil 8 will be dropping May 7th. So they did put out I believe it was a 30-minute demo where you could walk around the whole map that was made, and then they put
was it timed just like Resident Evil 2 where like you could only play it for a certain amount of time?
it was timed, like you could only play it for like 30 minutes or an hour, I believe. And then they put out another one where I believe you'll be able to play it, I think it's May 1st. Everyone's going to be able to play on May 1st. But yeah, so
Okay.
I mean, everyone seems to be excited for this. They have the Lady D character that people keep trying to say is she a baddie,
yeah.
she thick, XYZ. I don't know, bro. They game characters, but that's neither here nor there. People do
Vampire goth waifu.
They are bringing back Ethan. Ethan's story will be continued. I don't know if you've seen any game trailers or anything, Enigma, but I mean, how do you feel about Resident Evil 8? You're a Resident Evil fan?
Perfect. I'm glad you gave me this opportunity to express how much of a bitch I am.
Oh my gosh.
I am the softest man you will ever meet, and I get scared by things easily, and I do not enjoy the sensation of being scared.
Are you serious?
Therefore, I don't really play Resident Evil. I'm on God.
Oh my gosh, bro!
What do you mean?
You are missing out, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're missing out.
Listen. Okay. When it comes to Resident Evil, I think the games look great. I don't like the feeling of having to manage my ammo and being resourceful with my bullets and thinking about my pathing and all that, remembering what I freaking opened 6 doors ago and shit. I'm not a fan, just not for me. But I respect it. I think it's a goated franchise, and if someone wants to play it in the room while I'm there, I'll watch. I'm not that soft.
Yeah, I've loved Resident Evil 8, and it's funny because not Resident Evil 8. I love the Resident Evil franchise. I got onto Resident Evil kind of late, and it was kind of by chance.
Which one did it for you?
It was 4. It was 4, really and truly. The goat, really and
Did you
truly.
play 4 on GameCube?
No. I got it off the bandwidth.
Oh,
allegedly, of course. So I think one day it like a video of it had popped up in my recommended. You know how people do those the essay videos? They were talking about it. I think I watched like maybe I watched like maybe 5 minutes of it, and I looked at the gameplay. I'm like, whoa, this is actually kind of cool. So you know, I booted it up on my special PlayStation 2. And and I played it, and I was like, whoa, this is really good. And then I went to go play Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. I like that game. It's a different feel to the Resident Evil game universe, because the game's in first person. Usually Resident Evil games are in third person. Yeah, so it's a different feel. Resident Evil 8 is in first person as well, and it looks like they're trying to capture that horror, scary feel of Resident Evil again. So I am excited. I don't know if I'll get it first day, but I will get it pretty close to release. I am excited. Yeah.
I think that they're doing really well when it comes to the promotion of all these new upcoming games, because like we were talking on the last episode a little bit about how the price of these new games and these consoles has made us a little hesitant to buy things day one. But then again, like the fact that there's even a contemplation of like, am I willing to spend $100 on this piece of physical media that will likely go down in price or go on sale in a little bit? It's like, damn, they must be doing something right, because it looks good.
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of people are really, and it's great too, because Resident Evil pretty much has the wide open lane for this, because there hasn't been any really good games coming out in the past little while. I mean, Sony had, what was it, Returnal was supposed to come out in, I want to say February. That got delayed. God of War is supposed to come out soon. We don't know if that's going to come out.
That's probably getting delayed.
Most likely getting delayed,
because we don't have enough information on that.
Yeah. So I mean, Resident Evil 8 pretty much has the spotlight to shine, and I think they are going to do really well. I think people are going to appreciate this game, especially with the drought. It's gonna be something people are gonna get. It's gonna look good on the new systems. So
I think a couple of the games released. I gotta represent my weeb audience because I know Near Replicant just dropped like last week. Shout out to my Japanese game playing gamers. I know you guys are loving that game because that shit's crazy. It's not for me. I didn't pick it up, but I know that shit's lit.
Near Replicant.
I tried Automata, and Automata blew my fucking brain. My brain hurt too much, and I couldn't finish that game. So I skipped out on Replicant, but shout out to you guys. I know you guys are loving that.
I heard
that came out last week.
I heard that game is really philosophical. Like I did it, funny because it was on Game Pass. I played maybe like 2 hours of it, but I'm a person where it's like if I'm not super hooked in the first 3-4 hours, it's hard for me to follow. But I've heard the game is really good past the time that I played it, and it's very philosophical. Like there's a very deep meaning to it. I don't really know what it is, sorry, but yeah, I heard it was good. So
it's just about the conflict between like the characters you play as are like semi-androids. They're sentient. And so it brings into a lot of questions about like moral ambiguity and what makes a person and feelings and stuff. It's deep. Shit gets deep.
Yeah,
I can say that much. And it's very well designed. The game design is very good.
Yeah, I mean, I the little bit I've played it, I liked the combat. I liked the game design. It was interesting. It was cool. It's cool. So
I just wanted to give them that because I know that there hasn't been too much coming out recently. So when something that I hear a lot of people talking about and a lot of people enjoying drops, I like to give them their little shout out.
Yeah, you gotta shout them boys out, of course. Shout out to Weebs. We love them boys.
Yes, sir, Steve.
Talking about speaking of yes sir skis and the slimes and the slets, this is actually a good time to move into the music section. We just had Young Thug and YSL, his label, Young Stoner Life. They dropped Slime Language 2. For me,
good lord, Thugger dropped a tape for this. Let's talk about it.
Talk about it.
Let's talk.
How did you? Were you waiting for this album? Because I know the first Slime Language, a lot of people liked it. Some people said it was okay. How do you feel about Slime Language 2 and how Thug and Keed showed out? How do you think about it?
I'm not a huge Young Thug fan. Young Thug's music usually hits for me when it drops, and then a couple months down the line to a year down the line, the songs are usually getting skipped when they come up on the shuffle. I'm not a huge Thug fan, but I respect what the hell this man does on the mic. I respect the production, and I respect that he put so many names on. The album was long as shit, 23 tracks, and they dropped a deluxe. The album had some heat on it. The album had features from Drake, Travis Scott. I don't know how Coi Leray got herself on the album, but shout out to her.
Shout out to Coi Leray.
My boy Nav, you know I'm happy. You know I was living.
Shout out to Navraj.
I got the brown boy on the track.
Shout out to Navraj.
Lil Duke. There were some names. They really dropped a tape for the streets, I have to say. And so I wasn't personally waiting for this album to come out, but I knew I was going to check it out as soon as it came out, and I wasn't disappointed.
Well, I mean, I am a big Young Thug fan. I don't know if I've said that on here, but I am a really big Young Thug fan. I love Young Thug, and I feel like Young Thug has actually birthed so many careers and so many people that people love. And Young Thug does not get his recognition for it, which is kind of sad. But regardless,
I feel like if you pay attention to the music game, then you know. But like, yeah, the general public doesn't give him enough recognition for everything that all the mans that he's put on.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, like from Gunna to Keed, there's so many people that Young Thug has just put the battery in their back. Lil Baby, he helped Lil Baby get a start.
Yeah, he helped propel Lil Baby's career at the start, too.
Like Young Thug, really, and the thing I really like about Young Thug is he will put his people on. Like you are like on this tape. This is a label tape. It's kind of like Revenge of the Dreamers with J. Cole and how he has Dreamville. So Young Thug is putting people on you maybe never heard of, you maybe heard of once. So he's putting everybody on this one. And that's something I really respect about Thug. He tries to put his people on. In terms of tracks that I really loved off of this, oh my gosh, Sleddy. Oh, I love that song.
Oh my goodness.
First song, wow.
Listen,
what a song to start with.
First, like what? 5-track package is insane. It's like, what? This is what you're starting us off with?
You know what it reminds me of? You know that picture with Kobe, how he has the five NBA championships and he just hunched over. That's what those like first 5 tracks remind me of. Amazing.
It's honestly
magical.
It's 7. It's the first 7 tracks. Like look at the track list right
magical.
now. Slatty, Ski, Diamonds Dancing with Travis Scott, Solid with Drake, Came and Saw with Rowdy Rebel, Paid the Fine with Lil Baby and YTV Trends, and then Proud of You, the Uzi track that Uzi gave them the leak for.
That's beautiful.
What do you mean?
That's beautiful.
What do you mean? That 7-piece combo was insane.
That's a killer lineup. It's really, honestly, it was a good showing. It was a good showing. Not just from Thug, from Keed as well. I mean, some people said, you know, near the end it's hit or miss, but I mean, Sleddy, you had.
I think it's long too.
It's long.
I think people got a little burnt out.
It is long, but I mean that's a byproduct of him just trying to put he put in the engineer that he met 2 months ago on the track, man. Like everyone is on this, bruh. So yeah,
the entire roster is coming up on this.
You know, I loved Diamond Dance. I love Solid. Paid the Fine. You said proud of what was it? Proud of Me. Proud of You. I like with Coil Ray, and that's all.
I'm not even gonna hold you. I was cruising with my boy. That song came on because I was showing him the album, and I was like, "Yo, let me know if you could tell when one woman switches to the other woman's voice, because I can't tell who's who." The song was almost over. He's like, "Yo, I bet her verse is coming in now." I'm like, "Nah, the song's got 10 seconds left." It's like, what?
Nah, Coil Ray had that second verse. I just know what Coil Ray's voice sounds like because I've heard so many snippets and like, you know, I
don't vibe with Coil Ray. That's why.
I mean, I feel you. Honestly, I don't mind her. Hey, I'm a Playboi Carti fan, so she sounds like a female Playboi Carti. So I mean, I'm
gonna put my respect on that. She's a cool person. I watched her No Jumper interview. She alright.
Yeah.
I have no beef with her. I just don't really like her music.
Yeah, music is it's hit or miss sometimes, but yeah. I mean, I really liked this, and I feel like it speaks to the power of how good Young Thug is at getting eyes and attention on not only himself but the people in his label and the people he wants to put on. It's a really we could see that he's really good at it, and he has really strong power and pull in the industry just to get this big show.
Yo, there was a little bit of Wheezy production on there, and I only know that because he used the emergency tsunami
warning.
The little tsunami warning. I was like, okay.
Yeah, the beat selection on this was really good too. Beat selection was amazing.
They were playing no games. They actually came out hard, and it also showed me something else. That this is just a personal opinion of mine, but let me ask you this, because you're more of a Thug fan than I. When did So Much Fun drop? 2018? So Much
Fun was I want to say 2019.
I thought it was end of 2018, but either way. So it's what, like two almost 3 years old. Since then, he's put out a couple singles here and there, done some features for the most part, and then came out with a banger tape for the streets. You know who else has put out a couple singles here and there, done some features, and is gonna put out a tape for the streets? Travis Scott, when that Utopia drops. Ooh. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the feature on this album or just the way that they came in so hard, but everything just made me think to myself, everybody who's sitting back putting in work right now is coming with the fucking heat.
It's true, and it's funny because we're not hearing it yet. We're just getting here little bursts of it here. We get a little Young Thug here, we get a little Drake feature here. I feel like we're gonna have another. I don't know if you remember in like 2018, we literally got Travis Scott and Drake within within a month and a half span, like literally.
Yeah, that album rollout was insane.
So I mean, it's gonna be insane when everyone is finally ready to drop their music. And plus, we didn't even take this in. Some people, some concerts are starting to pop up here and there. So
that is true too.
Definitely feel like music is coming probably before summer. We're gonna get at least one big person before the summer. because kind of off topic. Did you see the Rolling Loud list for Miami?
I didn't see the guest list, no.
Bruv, everybody is on it. Travis Scott, Uzi,
Holy.
Kodak, literally every. So, especially how people.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, it's insane. Especially how people are starting to go back to concerts. Like they're starting to allow that now because people are starting to get vaccinated and things are starting to die down a little bit. At least in the States, everything's starting to die down a little bit. People definitely want to have new music to perform for the people when they go to their concerts or go to the festivals.
Oh my.
List is crazy, no? Look how packed it is.
Oh
I'm telling
my.
you. Even
Goodness,
ASAP Rocky is performing. ASAP Rocky.
I know.
Like, bro, I'm telling you.
Yo, they have a stage for Pierre Bourne.
Mhm.
Yo, Pierre wanted to come out here.
Mhm.
I'm mad that Blueface is getting a stage, but whatever.
Yeah, man.
Honestly, everybody's on here.
Yeah.
If you have a name, you're on here.
Exactly. So,
This is insane.
yeah, man. I mean, I really do feel like we're gonna get one really big person before the summer.
Nav's gonna be there. Yo.
Do they still?
Yo, can we still buy tickets?
Do they still sit? I'm not sure. Do they still do the live streams though?
Yo, can I still buy tickets? I don't know if they still do the live.
I hope they do.
I'm not sure.
I hope they do, because that's gonna be, man. I'm gonna be turning up with them. I'm gonna be turning up with them from afar at home.
Oh, for sure.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, that was I on a whole, I love this Thug album. Really good flashes and stints of big stars and people we are gonna hear in the future. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have their own showings, and some of them might even blow up.
Before we move on from this topic, I want to talk about his brother because I hate that name.
Who?
You should not have called yourself Unfoon. That's a stupid name. That's a dumb name, and I don't know how Thug sat there and let him do that and greenlit that. That's your bro. That's your actual brother.
This is for life.
Tell
right?
this man no. Tell this man no.
Man.
That's a stupid name.
Hey, bruh, you know, people gonna have they own little flow. I don't know how that discussion went down. You know.
Do you like the name?
Unc
Or do you think that it's a little Unfoon?
Unfunk, bruh. I'm not gonna lie to you. That sound like some crazy lost Chinese martial arts.
Like, what does that mean?
Or you know what that sound like? That sound like a Neanderthal trying to say something.
And he like on the. Did you listen to the deluxe?
Oh no, I didn't hear the deluxe yet.
I heard it. It's only like 5 tracks. One of the tracks is kind of a throwaway because he has some kid rapping on the whole track. So it's like it's not really like a track that you're supposed to like bang. I think it had more meaning behind it. You may understand it more because you're a Thug fan than I did. But Unfunk is on one of the songs on the deluxe as well. Sorry, and he says his name in a bar, and it's so whack.
Unfunk.
You can't call yourself Unfunk and try to say like Unfunk is the hardest out here, something. Like, no!
Unfunk might be the hardest headed, not the hardest. The fuck, bro? Nah, man, I'm not gonna hold you. That's kind of ass.
That's why I don't like it, because it's like, bro, you can't even shout out your own name, G. It's not hard.
Nah,
you can't.
Yeah, that's garbage. That's garbage. But, yeah, man. I mean...
That's it for my closing thoughts on Slime Language 2. Great album, amazing production. What the fuck was that name, and how did you let your broski do this? Tax it to the game. It is what it is.
Bruh. I'm just excited. I'm excited to hear from, you know, Keed, Gunna, Thug, what they have next. You know, other people in the label as well. Interesting. I liked some of the showings. But yeah, waiting for Thug's next solo album. Waiting for that. Utopia, waiting for that. CLB. Yep, CLB, waiting for that. Another artist, we'll say he's a mid-tier artist. He's getting up there though, definitely, with this new one. Polo G got first #1 single with Rap Star. So I've heard the song. Enigma's heard the song. How do you feel about this?
I did just listen to the song. That's facts.
Hey man, it's fresh, so you get the freshest opinion on it.
Yeah, and I would like to say I can see why this song went #1 between like label promotion, because holy crap, I think that same week Columbus Records had like 3 of the top 6 songs. So between label promotion, and the general like vibe and feel of the song, I can see why the song went number one. It definitely appeals to a majority of people, and I'm not the biggest Polo G fan. I've only really listened to him on a couple features. So I think that if it can appeal to someone like me, it may not necessarily fit the taste for Polo G's fan base, and I feel like some people are being a little critical of the song because of that, but I think it was definitely intended to go number one, so I'm not surprised that it did.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those songs that could blow up, you know, songs that you hear on the radio while you just drive into like work or, you know, next spot. It is a good song though. Like I'm not ragging on it. I'm just not a person that listens to heavy radio music. Like I don't listen to the radio at all. I just listen to the stuff on Apple Music and stuff that I hear. But regardless, I mean, it is a good song. I do hear how people do want to play that song a lot, get it to the top. And Polo G, I mean, first number one. It's a big showing. Hopefully it is only up from here for him. He did put out.
I think that it's signs of stuff to come, and I think that he's definitely just gonna his trajectory is just gonna keep going up from here, because I feel like he's been having steady growth.
Yeah, he's one of those artists where it's like he's not blowing up super quick, but you know, when you hear about him, it's something good, and it's trending him upward even higher. And he does have a dedicated fan base. He has a strong fan base. One of the people in my streams at twitch.tv/it's Ramehs, one of the people in my streams, they are a really big Polo G fan. They're always telling me to play his music in the stream, or so. I mean, he does have a really strong dedicated fan base, and it shows. They play the music, they rock with the music. It's not just a following, it's a fan base that really wants to hear him and wants to see him grow, which is good for an artist. It's good. And he has some other good songs too, like I don't know if you heard GNF. It's called like GNF okay.
If I heard the song again, I would probably recognize it, because my friends listen to Polo G like in the whip and stuff, but I don't recognize it off name.
Yeah, I like that song too. I listen to Polo G on and off. I'm not like the biggest Polo G fan, but you know, I listen to him on and off. But yeah, I really did like that GNF song too. Just, you know, respectable artist. Definitely a respectable artist. He doesn't just have a buzz.
Did he either recently drop an album or has an album coming out soon?
Honestly, I don't remember. I'm not too sure. I more listen to his singles. Because I'm kind of on and off. But yeah, I mean, he probably does have something in the works in terms of an album, in terms of a project. He probably does have something in the works.
Yeah, if he has an album coming up, then I'm definitely interested to check it out. That much I will say.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely a respectable artist, someone who's not just known for their antics. Any final thoughts on this?
No, like you said, I feel like this was, I don't know if I would necessarily say purely deserved, in the sense that his label definitely made a push towards it with marketing and stuff, but in the sense that he didn't cause any antics to get his song to number one and didn't do any nonsense or have any beefs with anybody, I think it was deserved in that sense. It blew up because it was a catchy, enjoyable song that a lot of people liked and a lot of people were willing to stream and download. And I think that also by bringing up those antics, a lot of other artists in this industry like to cause a lot of antics to promote their music. And I think that's a really great segue into our next topic, which is about Lil Nas X and his shoes.
Speak on it. Oh man.
His Lord forsaken.
Speak on it, bro. This is insane.
This was a very silly situation. I assume that most of our listeners already know what we're talking about, because the situation has progressed so far. But just to give a quick little rundown, Lil Nas X, a couple weeks ago now, released a song called "Call Me by My Name," Montero. That song came with a very graphic music video that had a lot of things depicting hell, the devil, him giving the devil a lap dance, and a lot of other interesting situations. It was very polarizing. It caused a lot of controversy and a lot of people were talking about it. Then this man had the gall, the absolute cojones, to try and release a rip-off Nike shoe. Oh, with how much?
It was
One drop,
yeah, one drop of blood. One literally
in the shoe. Pentagrams all over. What is going on? What are we doing?
Okay, there's a few layers to this. So the first layer,
there are so many layers. How do you unpack all this?
The first layer, I mean the first thing I guess we can look at is the reception. How did people receive this? Some people were, I mean, understandably upset and angry because Lil Nas X was, when he initially came out, he was positioned, he was held, viewed as someone that made kind of carefree music that was oriented towards kids. A lot of kids listened to his music, and I'm not talking about like 13, 14 kids. I'm talking about like 8, 9, 7, 6 years old.
Yeah,
right?
it also trended on TikTok, which helped with that like age demographic, because TikTok was still in its very early adoptive stages, and there were a lot more younger children on TikTok as opposed to the age group now.
So, you know, you have these I mean, it's a lot of parents and older people who are, you know, upset, saying like, bro, like, you came out as like this person who was geared towards kids, and now you're doing lap dances and you're kissing up on the devil and you're going down the hell on stripper poles. It's just a weird look. And then you have the people on the opposing side who I guess are just pushing back to push back. It's I don't know, it's interesting to just see people just push back. I understand the sentiment, yes.
I understand it from a marketing perspective for some things. I understood the music video kind of thing. Because when Lil Nas X came out as gay, a lot of the fan base that had initially listened to him, because his first blow-up song was a semi-country rap song that kind of branched the two genres, and a lot of people, this is somewhat of a generalization, but in my personal experience, a lot of people that tend to like country have some sort of religious ties.
Very conservative.
Not all the time.
Very conservative.
But just a lot of instances in my life. So once he came out as gay, there was a lot of pushback and a lot of you're gonna burn in hell and all this, and he kind of played off that hatred and turned that into a marketing scheme, but took it to the extreme, just doing too much.
I mean, yeah, I understand. Yeah, like I think he came out with some sort of like was, you know, like how people put out they type those long ass notes and then they post them on Twitter. Yeah. So he put one of those, and I read it, and I understand. I understand. I understand how it correlates to the song and how it correlates to, I guess, where he's trying to go now. But like, just the way he handled it was very, just it was very extra.
It was very like internet troll.
Very internet trolly, and you know, just trying to reach for attention. And then he comes out with the shoes, and see, it's funny, he comes out with these custom shoes with, I believe it's Mischief, and you know, they have this crazy price tag. It's like $1,018 on the dot because of some Bible scripture. I'm not sure exactly which one. Some Bible scripture.
Luke 10:18.
Yeah, Luke 10:18.
You want to know what it says?
What does it say? What does it say?
It says, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven."
Oh my goodness.
That's the Bible passage. That's the Bible verse.
He trolling, bro. He is trolling. So he comes out with these shoes, high price tag, one drop of blood. You know, he on his Playboy Cardi vamp anthem shit. So it's just, I don't know. And that's cool. That's cool. You're supposed to promote your music and get eyes on it. But the thing that I'm really interested on, and I think this is the most interesting facet, is where does Lil Nas X go from here? And two, who is Lil Nas's real fan base? Like, who is his fan base now? Because he can't do rap, because, well, he can do rap, but he's not going to get celebrated like more of the younger artists like a Polo G or a Corday, who, you know, they are more traditionally rap, you know, because he is gay. A lot of, you know, sad to say, but a lot of the people that listen to rap, they're not rocking with, you know.
It's evident in the music. A lot of like rap music and artists. Dude, this is a little bit of a digression, like we're getting a little bit off topic here, but I had this conversation with my friend the other day because Dior came on the phone, and I think it's amazing that Dior blew up as hard as it did when one of the first lines that this guy says is, "I can't mess with these because are gay."
Yeah, I
censored myself a little bit there.
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's cool.
I think that it's amazing that those are the first, like, one of the first lines that he said, and that song blew up. Everybody was singing that, shouting that out. I was like, this is crazy. People really throw their values away for a banger.
I mean, that's usually how it is, man. That's a whole nother topic in itself, bro. If you make good, that even goes back to like R. Kelly. Like R. Kelly made some amazing music, but he was a horrible person. But that's a whole nother topic. Yeah, I mean, it is like that. But you know, on a whole, he can't really do rap like that. You won't have a rap fan base. The country fans, they already weren't rocking with it from the jump. Then you have the little kids that used to listen to him. Their parents are not rocking with that, so they're not listening to him. So who is Lil Nas's fan base, and what does he make from here? Because the thing I start to realize with Lil Nas X is a lot of his music is backed up by antics. So
it's always backed up by some sort of situation or antics.
Some sort of crazy situation or some sort of antics. So where does he go from here?
Yeah, because even that's the other thing that we're talking about is what Montero went #1 because of all the antics. Then what dropped down to #2, I think, the following week. Then he started tweeting about how it was getting quote unquote taken off of streaming platforms. It wasn't taken off anything. And the one platform that it was unavailable on, it was soon put back on. But then he started talking about how he's going to be being blackballed. He was tweeting all about this, how the industry's going to start to blackball him and blah, blah, blah. Stream Montero as much as you can, and the song went #1 again. And then now antics are done, and now Rap Star's #1. So you tell me.
This kind of goes back to what I was talking about Polo G. He, you know, it's important to have artists that I mean, yeah, you have your marketing and, you know, you push your music and promote it, but you want your music to be lasting and you want it to have sustenance. What is going to, and this is an interesting thought that I actually had, maybe I think around the time that the song came out. Are we going to be, because Lil Nas X at this point, he's a star, like everyone knows his name, but are we really going to be going back like 2-3 years from now and listening to any of his music?
Yeah, like, is there any staying power or any longevity? And I think the answer to that question is no, but that's obviously a personal opinion. Music is subjective and people are allowed to like what they like. I just think that overall, yeah, like you're saying, he has no established fan base and there's no longevity in his music. It's just propelled by the antics of the moment.
What I'm really waiting for is when he drops an album. I want to see what his album rollout is going to look like. I want to see first week sales. I want to see like maybe like 8th, 7th, second week sales.
He only put like that one EP out after Old Town Road blew up.
He hasn't even put out,
that had like 5 songs or something.
He hasn't even put out like a full legit project.
Yeah, so let me see a full project. Let me see what you're working with, what the hell like you're trying to bring to the table, and let me see what those first, second, third, and even 5th week sales are looking like.
You know what this kind of reminds me of, and to a lesser extent, Lil Pump.
Oh, absolutely.
This reminds me of Lil Pump, because Lil Pump,
it's only to a lesser extent because Lil Pump was in the game longer, so he had to like up the ante for a longer period of time. Lil Nas X will get to that point if he keeps basing his career on how much further he can up the ante from his last stunt.
I really want to see I want to see what his first album is gonna look like and his second album, because I feel like we're seeing it now. A lot of people, a lot of artists are getting exposed. They have millions of followers and no one is listening to their music. Lil Pump has like what, 16 million followers on Instagram and can't get 30,000 people, 30,000 weeks first week sale. Exactly. Yeah. It's we'll see. People are gonna get exposed. I'm telling you, people are really gonna get exposed. But hey man, interesting, you know.
It just goes to show, it attests to that conversation that we had about and I don't remember if we talked about this in the last episode or if this was off stream, or sorry, off recording, but it attests to that conversation we had about the difference between followers and influence. These motherfuckers have no influence. They just have people who follow them for the antics.
Exactly.
Or then you I'm gonna throw a little shade here. Then you end up like fucking YB and Namir, and you're just a freaking fashion Nova model.
That is sad. What happened, man? Look, Namir is really, that's a whole.
He should have just stayed a Fashion Nova model. He should have just kept posting his Fashion Nova promo posts on his IG account and just minded his business. But he decided to make a freaking album where he said, "I glide, I slide."
That
I don't want to get too deep into it, but.
That,
goddamn.
Yeah, it's a whole, man. I think one thing, touching just slightly on it. I think one thing that we're seeing, a lot of people are getting exposed now because of the digital age. Because back in the day, like people would people would see your antics, like they see you on TV XYZ. But I mean, you know, they would still buy your stuff. But if we're seeing people so frequently and we get so much good music, why would I listen to someone who just has antics and some okay music when I have someone that, you know, they may have some antics, but their music is top tier. They can actually hold a candle musically to anyone. So interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree with that opinion. I think it, like you're saying, it's a multifaceted thing where like part of it is the like unlimited amount of choice that we have with like different streaming services now, like Spotify and stuff. I think it's crazy that like, and I've said this to people before, I think it's crazy that now you don't have to pick and choose and spend $14.99 on an album here or there, or whatever the price of an album would be now, inflation or whatever, probably like $20, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend $20 here and there on an album for maybe like 4 or 5 songs that you actually like. Now you pay one-time fee and you have access to pretty much every album when they come out, and you pick and choose what you like. I think that like overabundance of choice has really devalued all of these like antics-based rappers, and it's really kind of showed us that like the music is more meaningful at the end of the day than the antics, because like social media can carry you only so far until people get bored of your nonsense and move on to something else, but the music is what's here to stay. The music was gonna stay and leave your legacy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I am interested to see where some of these artists, I want to see the trajectory of their career in the next 2 to 3 years, especially because new artists are starting to get ushered in. We're gonna see. Before
we move on from this topic, I just have one thing I want to add on that. I think it goes to show that like every artist who does positive things, who's talked about in a positive life at the end of their career, is specifically talked about for their music. It's not usually like what they do. And I think that it goes to show with an abundance of a lack of conversation about artists like Akon, who's like literally funding electricity projects in Africa and no one talks about that. But like on the reverse side of the thing, the things that rappers who cause antics are always known for is like the worst possible thing that they've ever done, or like artists in general, it's always the worst possible thing that they've ever done. So it's never a good idea to base your career off antics, because the worst thing that you've done is what's your legacy.
That's true.
Whereas if you actually try to make good music, the best thing you put out is what's going to be your legacy. And wouldn't you rather be known for the best thing you did than the worst thing?
It's true. What was that quote? What was that quote from Pound Cake? Only real music is gonna last, you know? All the little bullshit is here today and gone tomorrow. It's true. You know.
All that other bullshit is here today. Gone tomorrow.
Speaking of real music that here to last, in the sad note, actually really sad, we can switch over to pop culture. DMX has passed away at the age of 50.
Sad to see.
It's really sad, bro. Really sad. We know if you follow DMX even kind of loosely, you know that he's had a big struggle with substance abuse and addiction. It's just a really sad story of someone that was really talented, someone that, you know, they had so much potential that they lived up to, but just
let it all go.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
seeing how it played out, it's just really sad. I wasn't the biggest DMX fan, you know, that was kind of before my time, but I do know some of the songs, you know. I'm trying to remember that one
X
album. X Gon' Give It To You.
Everybody knows that.
Rough Riders Anthem. You know, you had the album Hell Is Hot.
Oh my goodness.
You know.
DMX changed. DMX was like a classic. If you played like Grand Theft Auto, you heard DMX music. If you played certain games, you heard that. And if you were raised in certain households, certain environments, you heard DMX's music. So like you said, it was a little before my time, but like I have absolute respect for the legacy that he left behind.
Exactly. And you know one thing that I'm actually really starting to see, which I actually really like in hip hop, well, in some senses, because I don't know, I don't like the new Eminem. I really don't. I don't care what no one says. Debate a wall. But yeah, Eminem should just stay in Michigan. He should stay in his big ass mansion in Michigan and never come out. But regardless, one thing I do like about the newer side, like this new wave coming up in hip hop, is people are starting to really appreciate legends and give legends their own time and their own let them make mature music. You know, you have Jay-Z coming out with 444. You know, you have other artists who are older in age that are coming out with projects, and we're giving them real shots. I mean, Gucci Mane's still making 3 albums every year.
Gucci Mane will never stop making albums.
Exactly.
What, Nas put out an album a couple weeks ago.
Nas put out an album.
Or not, sorry, it wasn't a couple weeks ago. It was a couple months ago. But yeah, Nas put out an album recently too. So I see what you're saying. It's difficult because we do this thing, especially with our generation, where we like to just like give anybody who dies legend status or like goated status. A lot of these artists who died at a time where like their catalog isn't backed up enough to really call them quote unquote legends. Like that's a completely different conversation than someone like a Tupac or a Biggie, and the influence that they had on the actual music scene. That's what makes them legends, as opposed to like other artists and just being reputable or like really well known. So I think that we use that legend term a lot, but I think that what you're specifically talking about isn't like the overuse of the legend term in any sense of the word. I think that it actually applies to this, and I think that, like we were talking about earlier, that addition of the digital age and like online media and like Spotify to be able to like download music and stuff has also helped to like let established fan bases continue to support artists that they like, and it's also let people like participate and be like in a lot of different fan bases at once.
Yeah, it's, you know, this whole streaming age it's a double-edged sword, really and truly. Blessing and a curse, because, you know, we do really get to hear so much music. We get to hear music from people that we do see as legends in not only hip hop but also other music genres. But you know, it also kind of shafts them. But you know, we just it's good. It's good to hear. I really just appreciate it. I like it. I have nothing bad to say about it. Shout out to DMX. RIP to DMX. You know.
Yep. RIP to the guy. That's literally all we can say.
Yeah.
I just wish the best for him and his family. I'm pretty sure that he owned most of his masters, and I think that the estate is going to like his 11 children or whatever. I think he had a lot of kids from what I was hearing.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing as well. If you want to stream the music and support, go ahead. The money goes to the family.
Yep. Just you know, RP DMX. You know, love the music. Just appreciate the legends out of here, bro. Appreciate the people. Appreciate not only not the celebrities, not only the artists, but the people, you know, close to you. Appreciate them out of here. That's all I got to say on that. But
and I think that's the best message to leave that on.
Moving on though, something more lighthearted. Jake Paul. Crazy that we're talking about Jake Paul. And it's not
of course we're talking about Jake Paul. It's not a,
you know, not some antics
video or something.
Yeah, it's
garbage.
not something bad. It's actually something really interesting. Jake Paul had a fight with Ben Askren. It was a boxing match, not an MMA match, because Ben Askren was an MMA fighter. But it was a boxing match, and Triller hosted it. There was a halftime show, almost like the Super Bowl. I believe
the whole thing was a halftime show.
The whole thing.
We got 30 minutes of fights, and we got 3.5 hours of concert.
Oh my gosh!
Anyone who paid $60 for that, I'm sorry that you paid for the pay-per-view. Trap out the bandwidth.
Hey, allegedly. You know. But yeah. It's interesting the sort of shift that not only social media but these online stars are making, because now they're seeing the money in fighting. I remember I forget exactly whose channel I heard it on, but there was someone that said Jake Paul he's made a good amount of money in his career, like just posting on YouTube. He's seeing like a crazy amount of money in fights, because I believe they gave 50% of the pay-per-views to the fighters alone. 50%.
I would just like to express Jake Paul owns stake in Triller, and Triller hosted the event.
Yeah.
So he made money no matter what. He profited in all facets of this event. So
yeah, there is money in boxing. There's money in fighting. I honestly like this though. I have no problem with this. This is, and you know.
Okay. Did you watch the fight?
Honestly, no, because it was like what 30. I seen the highlights. What little highlights? You
saw the fight then?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much what little highlights there was.
Listen, that's my only criticism about this whole thing. Ben Askren got knocked on his ass in like 45 seconds, and the ref called the match, and he walked away with a grin on his face and like a couple $100,000 at least in his pocket.
Yeah. One thing I do like about this whole fight thing is I like the angle that they can take with this. You could literally start. I don't know how this hasn't been done yet. You could literally have two YouTube stars or celebrities or online personalities that have beef with each other. They say, you know what? I'm gonna see you in the ring in 3 months. Train for 3 months. Build up a huge pay-per-view. People buy it, and they cash out. I don't know how this hasn't been done yet.
What do you mean they did?
They did?
They did do that.
Oh, KSI and Logan Paul. Oh my gosh, how did I forget about that? Yeah.
That started
all of this. Yeah, that started all of this. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how we haven't seen more of it.
KSI fought some other YouTuber first. I can't remember that guy's name. He fought some other YouTuber first.
I forget who it was.
Joe Weller.
Joe Weller. Yeah, he put Joe Weller on his ass.
Yeah, he beat Joe Weller's ass.
Yeah, so.
And then we had the Logan Paul fights. And that also came with a bunch of like undercard fights where other like UK YouTubers were fighting and stuff. But now it's branching out because like I think there was another event where it was like, or I either saw a posting for this and this event is upcoming, or it did happen, but it's like YouTubers versus TikTok stars or something.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too.
And yeah, the whole thing spawned from KSI and Logan. Man. And they really made a lot of money off those two fights.
Honestly, I want to see Jake Paul and Logan Paul fight each other. I want to see them boys fight each other.
KSI fight Jake Paul.
I don't know. That'd be it. Hey, Jake Paul look different now. He look totally different. He been training.
I'm not saying KSI is gonna win easy. I just think that KSI will actually put in the work and go train properly with his trainer and actually try to win the fight. I don't think he'll just go for the cash out. I think he'll actually fight him, and I think that's why people want it too. Also, because he beat the other Paul brother, so we want the double. We want the back to back.
Yeah, he need the 2 chips. He need both of them. Any other thing else to say about this?
Honestly, overall, the like idea of settling like internet influencer beefs with like boxing matches and stuff is cool. I kind of don't want the sport to get turned into a spectacle, because it kind of feels like it's debatable if you want to say whether Ben Askren threw the fight or not. But if you believe that he did, and you do want to say that, I feel like it's a slippery slope to start turning this into like the WWE, where now there's all these fake boxing matches that people are paying pay-per-views for, and it's going to turn into a whole thing, because people pay to watch WWE, and we know that that's fake. Like, straight up know that that's fake.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's an impossibility. So I'm a little concerned about that. I'm not really happy about it. And they need to get a goddamn better cameraman, because that man was hugging the ropes.
True. And honestly, I do feel like it could kind of dilute the whole sport of boxing as a whole. But I mean, in the YouTube online star realm, I have no problem with it. I think it's cool. I think it's fun.
I like it better than the alternative. Netflix just greenlit a series with Hype House.
What?
The only person whose name I recognize from Hype House is Nikita Dragon, and the only reason I know her is because she's like the popular transgender Asian like social media influencer / YouTuber. That's the only reason I know her. It's that whole house that she lives with, that whole team.
Honestly,
I don't, bro. Every name that they listed on the like little blurb, I didn't recognize, except for Nikita Dragon.
You know what's so crazy about online now? Just a little short tidbit before we move on to the next topic. It's crazy that you say that, because there's so many people that have like 1 million subscribers or 2 million subscribers that you've never heard of. That is how big that YouTube and the online sphere is. You could literally have your own community with hundreds of thousands and even millions of people, and people don't even know you yet. You know? It's crazy the way that YouTube has progressed, because I've been an OG on YouTube. I've been on YouTube for like forever, so just
I've been grinding up the YouTube game for a freaking minute.
Just watching everything play out is beautiful. It's cool. That's just a little tidbit though. Speaking of people who need their ass beat,
Lord.
Speaking of people who need their ass beat, EDP 445.
Talk to him.
Oh, brother. Okay, so
get this man.
EDP 445. If you don't know who he is a YouTuber. I believe he had it's
2.5 million.
Yeah,
2.15
million,
something like
that.
Around there.
Something in the
over 2 million subscribers before. Not anymore. Good for him.
He was known for he's a Philadelphia Eagles fan, so football, for those who don't know, American football. He's known for his big Philly Eagles rants. He's known for his crazy stories. He was caught messaging what he perceived to be was a 13-year-old girl.
Goddamn.
He then drives to meet this 13-year-old girl at her apartment complex, and there's a video of this.
He drove like an hour and a half or something. It was far too.
Disappointing. This whole story is just disappointing. because
And when he arrived at the apartment complex, what did he see? Who did he find? Please tell the people.
he found 2 YouTubers who pretty much set him up. It was a sting operation. It was a vigilante sting operation. They set him up. They had like, I believe they had like 30 of the 84 pages of the chat logs that he had with this perceived 13-year-old girl. That
84 pages with one girl.
84 pages. At one point, he literally sent his dick. He sent a dick picture to the decoy. He also sent a video of, it was a video or a photo of him having sex with a fleshlight. Bro, just talking about this story just really boils my blood.
Oh, no. He sent a picture. No. What he did, it was even weirder than that. He sent a picture of the fleshlight and explained how he uses it.
Oh, yeah.
And verbally explained how he uses it. And like sent pictures of himself as well. So it was inexcusable that it was him. You knew.
I mean, his pictures are literally all over. His face is in it, you know. It's even the conversation.
These were accounts that had like 13 in the bio, 14 in the bio. He's messaging.
Started on his official IG, so we know it's him. He got in 4K. He pulled up to the spot. We know it was him.
Man's caught in 44K.
Bro, high resolution,
166 hertz,
HDR.
Man, augmented reality. That shit's in front of you. And when they caught him, when the predator poachers caught him, they confronted him, as you mentioned, with the transcript of all the text logs that he had sent to this girl. And did he deny it? No. Did he say, I was hacked? No. This motherfucker nodded his head and said correct to everything. Verbally admitted, confessed to everything he had said and sent. And his stupid excuse for trying to abuse and manipulate and groom children as a grown, 30-some-odd-year-old man?
Something like that.
His excuse was that he's lonely. Motherfucker, everybody gets a little lonely. Not everybody picks kids. What the fuck is you doing? You have 2-point-something million subscribers. You had to reach out to children?
Sad.
Make it make sense, motherfucker.
Sad.
Make it make sense. I can't. It boils my blood.
Yeah, and you know the funny thing, he had a girlfriend. Like, he had a girlfriend at one point. So, you know, it's not like he can't get another one, or he has friends too. It's not like he's just like sitting in his house all, like, he has friends. Well, he had friends at the time.
Friends anymore.
He had friends at the time. So I mean, really just inexcusable. As an uncle to 3 children, this one is really, this is one story that really just, I don't know, this really wanted me to, it really just pushed me to put hands on this man. I really want to put hands on this man. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, it's ridiculous, bro.
I ain't even gonna hold you. Absolutely. Like you said, as someone who, I'm also an uncle, I have 4 little niece/nephews, and holy crap, like, first of all, make it make sense to me. How do you, as a like social media caricature person, whatever, have all this quote unquote influence and all these people that you could reach out to? You could DM like anybody. You could DM anybody. Even if you wanted the girl with 200 followers, you could at least make sure that she's around your age. And you could try and flex your social media clout. Like, why the children? Make it make sense. This doesn't make any damn sense. This is fucked up.
It's
on so many different levels.
It's wild too, because apparently this is not the first time he's been talking to minors.
It's not the first time he's been caught.
Bro, there's just, it's wild. It's wild. I'm hearing he made another channel, and he's scrubbing, like, he scrubbed his old channel of like all his videos. So I mean, if there is an investigation, which I hope there will be, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. This is developing. This just happened like early this week, right?
I think it was earlier this week.
Early this week.
And the other thing that I had to criticize the predator poachers on was that it didn't seem like, or we weren't given any information to suggest that they forwarded the information to the proper authorities. So I genuinely hope that they did that and that there's an investigation going on.
They literally called the police on the spot. They didn't call them beforehand and say, yeah, we have evidence of someone that they're a child predator, XYZ, we're gonna meet him at this spot and then you guys can handle him. They literally called him on the spot as he was running away. You can see EDP running away to his car in the video, and they're calling the police on the spot. It's shoddy work, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I mean, exposed nonetheless. This was poorly handled, but all in all, it was a net good because someone gets exposed for some very heinous shit. And
yeah, most of the time I'm not really for cancel culture, but in instances like this, it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, and he threatened the decoy. They even have a message where he tells the decoy,
yeah, because he had somewhat of an inkling that it was a sting, and he threatened the decoy that if it was a sting, he was gonna do something.
So just sad, bro. Sad. EDP, bruh. It's time for you to get out of here. Time for you to get up on out of here. But yeah. Any final thoughts on this whole EDP situation? How the predator poachers handled it? Anything?
Stay away from children. Fuck. If you're a grown-ass adult, stay away from kids. It's not that complicated.
True.
Like, that's all I can really say about the situation. It's disgusting.
True. Get help.
It's one thing, like, it's one thing when you're talking about like 18, 17 or whatever. That's like a completely different fucking situation. That just has to do with like legality. That's a completely different conversation because they're in and around the same age. But you're talking about like literal children and grown ass adults. Like, you're twice their age. That could be your kid. What is he doing?
Literally, could be his child. And this guy, if you've seen some of the things that he said, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't even know if I would say some of that shit to like a
I
girl.
Wouldn't say that to
like
someone I was
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'd say that to like a girl I was interested in. Like, just wild, out of pocket. Like, I don't know, man. Yeah. EDP, you need to get out of here, bro. That's what I come up with. This EDP needs to get out of here, and it's time for this to stop. It's really time for this to stop. So that is it for episode 2. Really good episode. We touched on a lot of really, really good stuff today. Any final remarks from you, Enigma?
Yeah, so just for my closing thoughts, I'd like to thank everybody for stopping by and checking out episode 2 of our Ramehs Radio podcast. I hope that you guys enjoyed. And if there's any like topics or suggestions that you guys think are interesting for us to talk about, feel free to, sort of reach out to us either like on our social medias where we promote these things, or because everything's either UndeadEnigma 9 or it's Ramehs for the most part, or come stop by the Twitch channels at twitch.tv/it's Ramehs or twitch.tv/UndeadEnigma 9 and leave a little suggestion in the chat, have a little conversation. And I hope that everybody enjoyed. Yeah, this was a really productive episode. I had a really good time recording, as I always do, and I'm glad that we got to go in on these topics, because some of these things I had a really strong opinion about, so can't wait to see what other people have to say. Yeah, this was a good episode. Anyone who has any constructive criticism, you loved it, you hate it, hey bro, if you want to say the show is dog water, go ahead, say the show is dog water so you can help us improve. I mean, I would appreciate that at least. But I mean, from the reception that we're getting from the first episode, it seems like people really like it. I am excited to keep this going and really keep building this up. Yeah, that was pretty much it. I really love the show, love the way it's going. Yeah, if you have any suggestions for us, you can leave them in the comments on the YouTube channel. You can reach us. Don't forget to like and share with your friends. Yeah, go ahead, like and share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for the noties.
Hit us on the socials, the Twitter. It's Ramehs, the one and only. Then you got UndeadEnigma. His Twitter socials will be in the comment section below as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for episode 2. Ramehs Radio. Checking in, checking out. Peace.